Hello there. Welcome to Beck's Idiot Voice. My name is Beck. The rest is self-explanatory. And I want to talk to you about Dragon Ball Z stuff. Because recently I saw a video about Dragon Ball OCs, and I figured I'd break open a old Word file and do some stuff with an OC of my own. And I suppose I'll tell you a little bit about Aubergine and her journey so far. So this character is actually set in a different universe from the main timeline, because I'm one of those OC writers, apparently. That has been a recurring theme in my fandom-based OCs. They're always off-center from the actual canon, like more so than usual. Anywho, I call this Dragon Ball Power Level, or DBPL, because this is a universe where power levels don't really exist. Technically, they are implemented in a way to prevent an uprising, essentially. Like, they are technically in universe, but they're more like a lie or a conspiracy, if you will. A conspiracy put out by whatever the name of the planet trading corporation is that Frieza is the head of. And that is used as a form of pseudo-subjugation, where no one's going to raise a hand to the people in charge because they have the biggest power levels you can possibly imagine. Like, they are the power levelist ever. And this is done through scouters. And the scouter gets like an estimate, but more often than not will give you bunk information. You know, it's like, how do you measure a person's physical strength through a raw number? You know, like, what does that factor in? That's what I've been doing when writing this, is essentially working through my own issues I have with the Dragon Ball lore, I suppose. So anyway, Aubergine is part of a 5 Saiyan team, and she is sent with her team to go and cleanse this planet, so planet trade can come in, can, you know, clean it up, tart it up a bit, and then resell it somewhere else. Who knows? Who knows who's going to buy it? And so far, when this happens, you know, she's your typical planet trade employee. You know, I go down, I punch things, I kill things because it's fun and it's easy, but it's not that easy. It's kind of challenging sometimes. And during this mission, they come across a monk. Just a standard monk. I believe the character was set up by being on the outskirts of town, tending to a rock garden, or an alien version of a rock garden. And they see the Saiyan pods come down, and they're like, oh shit, that's landing craft. And they run off, like, they zoom really fast. They do, like, you know, they do like that high power level run where, you know, the sound effect goes that you've heard so many times before. And then we cut to the Saiyans doing Saiyan things. You know, just killing people with energy beams and the whole Dragon Ball villain shtick. You know, just... we get kind of a sense of Aubergine's power by seeing her do, like, a display feat or something. Someone in a tower tries to shoot her with a high-powered rifle. As the bullet is coming towards her, she turns to it and literally plucks it out the air. Because speed and ability, you know. And we also see, as she's examining this bullet, getting a read on the power level of it, she gets shot again. And the bullet strikes her right in the forehead and explodes. And it doesn't even scratch her. And she's happy to see this. You know, she's happy to see, oh shit, it's an exploding bullet. I might actually have to try. And then while she goes and takes care of this high-powered rifle dude, we cut to another member of her Saiyan team who is just tackling some basic-ass military people, and then all of a sudden, a second member of the Saiyan team, or technically a third member of the Saiyan team, just gets, like, thrown through a window and lands at the current Saiyan's feet. And Saiyan number 3 has had a run-in with this monk. And this monk just starts trouncing all the Saiyans. Just punch, strike. You know, the monk doesn't fly. The monk doesn't fire ki blasts or anything like that. It is just, I am within arm's reach of you. I am going to hit you so hard. So hard, you will just fall over. Which eventually leads up to Aubergine having her showdown with said monk. Monk trounces her as well, for obvious reasons. She's supposed to get humbled by this experience. They have a bit of a philosophical back and forth about what the a power level is, because this monk doesn't know, this monk doesn't care. They've never had that barrier reinforced into them from birth. They've just, you know, be the best fighter you can be and fight for a good reason. You know? They're all forced to retreat. They're all forced to retreat by this one monk. I would have thought. And Aubergine spends a certain amount of time just in healing, in like a healing pod. Because she got roughed up pretty bad. And when she's out, just the Frieza surrogate character, I haven't thought much about the Frieza replacement, because I'm honestly not intending to do anything with this universe, so I haven't put much thought into it, aside from this character and a few basic outlines. But this Frieza surrogate has just sidled up in one of their own spaceships and just zapped the planet, and it's just gone. No, not gone. It is still there, but it is uninhabitable. So the Planet Trade Corporation is going to have that much more work ahead of them, which Aubergine is going to have to work off, because this was her blunder, because they had to retreat, and that procced the Frieza replacement's weird temper to just like, you know what, fine, this place. And just, I don't know, punches a hole in the ozone layer or something. I don't know, renders it uninhabitable until a certain thing happens. I don't know. And so, Aubergine, or maybe Aubergine should be the first out of her pod. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe Aubergine is the first out of her pod, and then or her healing tank even. Maybe Aubergine is the first out of her healing tank, and then she's given a chance to, like, redeem herself or so. Like, we're going to send you to this other planet. Don't mess this up, is what she's going to be told. And she's going to get sent to Earth. And she's already got, like, things this monk has said while they were philosophically back and forthing, just kind of stuck in her head about how power levels are... Isn't it weird how the people who issue the power levels are the one who have the highest? And isn't it weird how the ones who have the highest are the ones in the position where they can enforce what a power level means? You know, that kind of thing. Just like, power levels are ultimately self-serving to the people who decide what a power level is. Isn't that strange? Strange alien lady. She thinks about this on her way to Earth while she's at Earth, and then she comes across someone again. Or maybe this is where she meets a Namekian, the Piccolo surrogate. This Piccolo, we'll call him Trumpet. Why not? Let's call him Trumpet. And Trumpet is like, I can feel a great sense of energy and power and shit like that. Literally says shit like that. And asks her why she's here. she says, in all honesty, I don't know why I'm here. I've suffered a great defeat, and I've been given a chance to redeem myself, but I don't know if I want to follow through with that. She has this kind of crisis of faith, I suppose, in the system. Trumpet then decides to point her towards not the lookout. Like, he's going to mention that the lookout is a thing, but he's going to point her instead towards, like, the highest point of the planet that isn't the lookout. The highest point you can reach by foot of the planet. And that is because of something to do with the air pressure, or just some weird force. Flight is pretty dang impossible. Like, you would need a supernatural force to fly in that area. And I don't mean flying in the way Saiyans and other beings with higher power levels do. I mean flying in the way like Nimbus does and shit like that. And when Mr. Popo had a magic carpet. Do you remember when Mr. Popo had a magic carpet? Like, something that is quite clearly a magical force. Anyway, I'm doing the thing where you go off track. I'm going off track. Aubergine makes this trek. She makes it to the point of the mountain, and there she meets a figure. And there she meets another being of immense power who doesn't really do violence. Like, this being is very capable of violence, but chooses not to. He is a grenade that has learned pacifism, I suppose. Let's see, a grenade that's learned pacifism, all that stuff, We have like a small montage of her doing just general meditation stuff, getting to know herself. Maybe we explore the politics of power levels and she ruminates over it. Maybe we have like a flashback mission or something where she talks about something intense that happened, and then that is the arc by technicality. Not sure. Then we have a time skip. We have a pseudo time skip. We go back to the other Saiyans who have come out of their healing tanks, and we learn through them being given a mission that, hey, your former captain's gone dark. We haven't heard from her in several months, maybe even a year, I don't know, or maybe 2 or 3 years. We haven't heard from her in a very long time. Go find out if she's dead, and if she is, bring back her body, and if she's not, make her dead because she is absent without leave. And so they go out in their spaceships. They go in their pods, or maybe they get a proper spacecraft. Maybe that, like, they get a small spacecraft instead, because pod travel's a little, I think it's a bit too, like, shock troopery. Like, it's very, ODST, mobile infantry kind of shit. It's like, drop in, open, wreck shit, instead of, go land this ship, make a small base, and complete Aubergine's mission if she hasn't already, and find out what's going on. So they go there. They meet Trumpet. Trumpet fights 2 of them, and almost beats them, but doesn't. Maybe we come across some characters that were established during Aubergine's time with the monk on the mountain. And these Saiyans are about to kill. Like, woof. They've got them beaten on the dirt, and they're about to, or maybe they do off one. Give a reason to actually have the Dragon Balls in play, which, it is the title of the series. It's not much of a Dragon Ball series if it doesn't have the titular Dragon Balls in it. And Monk on a Hill drops by and is like, what the is going on here? And even Trumpet is scared of this guy. Like, it's something that is Trumpet is established earlier on as well to be powerful, like pretty damn powerful. Like, he gives these Saiyans a run for their money, and they have to outnumber him in order to beat him, is the kind of thing. And then the monk on the hill just kind of like, maybe comes in on Nimbus, you know, like actually, is he our Goku stand-in? Is he the Goku stand-in? I don't know. Maybe he just walked down until he could fly, and that's why he was late, you know? Like, he came as fast as he could, but the problem was that he can't fly in on the mountaintop. So he went to the point where he could fly, and then that's when he, like, arrives. Anyway, Trumpet is afraid of this guy. Trumpet tries to talk him down. You know, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this, you don't have to kill anyone here. And he says, that's true, but neither did they. And then he offs both the Saiyans that have been doing the violence and the murders, leaving just another two around. And these two are important because I think these two are going to become like the Vegeta surrogate. Instead of being one character, we're gonna split them into two, and because there's a bit more like Saiyan-y stuff. And then he points to the other two leftover Saiyans. He's going to be like, I'm giving you one chance to not have this violence carry on. Or maybe it turns out he only appeared to kill them. I think that there we go. That'd be the kicker. Like, he does this kind of just like, and instead of just like, they are dead, they just appear dead because, holy shit, he wrecked them quite badly. On a plus note, that's going to be a hell of a Zenkai boost for those two. Or maybe he's okay with killing because he can just Dragon Ball them back. I don't know these guys. I can give them a second chance at life because they know I will not hesitate to put them down. You know, like, there's something kind of dark about that philosophy, and maybe, you know, it's a good thing. And he recognizes the obvious Saiyan biology and the Saiyan attitude, some of the more stereotypical features of the race, you know, like the dark hair, the violent tendencies, the tail, obviously the tail. And he's going to ask, are they friends of Aubergine? And that's when they get reunited with Aubergine. And when the monk on the hill, the monk on the mountain even, monk on the mountain, it's more impressive when it's a mountain. The monk on the mountain brings them back up to his mountain. Aubergine is there. Aubergine is there, and she is currently in what is like a courtyard / garden, and she is doing some hand-to-hand training with a pair of young twin girls. The idea, of course, being that they are Saiyan half-breeds of Aubergine and the monk on the mountain. And again, these are kind of stand-ins for currently existing Dragon Ball Z characters, and after a while the main thematic storytelling of the arc would shift to these twins. Let's call them two things that go together, like Riemann and Rhyme. Riemann and Rhyme. Twin half-blood Saiyans. There's a whole Saiyan between them. And yeah, they've maybe follow the Gohan narrative where they don't really want to fight, but maybe they do, or maybe one does and one doesn't. And I haven't really thought that far ahead of it because this is just ideas I had ruminating while I was doodling this crazy Saiyan lady here. Actually, that's not fair. She's not crazy. She just grew up in a very violent culture and is learning what a non-violent culture is and how fulfilling that can be. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk more on this if I ever do any more recordings like this one where I'm just drawing Dragon Ball OC. So that was Becks' Idiot Voice. Get out of my office.